A piano in the hands of a novice creates noise, but in the hands of a skilled musician, well, those same ivory keys produce a masterpiece. And the difference? Composition, practice, artistry, and most of all, clarity. Living without clarity is like playing a song without knowing the notes. In today's world, we're pulled in countless directions. It's a struggle to even focus. Information overload and mental clutter leave you second-guessing yourself. I should do this. No, wait, I should do that. Maybe I should just do them both. But just like a musician bringing order to sound, you can bring clarity to your life. You can cut through the noise, find direction, and create something meaningful. Today, I will introduce you to 3 steps to find this focus. Keep listening. Your masterpiece is waiting. Find the full transcript and more resources for physician moms at inspiredmommds.com/47. You're listening to Inspired Mom MDs with host Cindy Van Prague, helping physician moms take back control and prioritize what matters most so they thrive in private practice and at home. Hi there, and thank you for joining me today. How do you find clarity in a noisy world when it's the foundation for making decisions and it helps us set realistic goals and have confidence in those goals? I know I'm a hard worker, and when I put my mind to something, great things can happen. What about when my mind wants to focus on too many things? What does anyone do when there's not a clear path to choose? I was recently at an alumni conference for the Andrew Weil Center for Integrative Medicine in Tucson, Arizona. And the conference started with an interactive opening session that I felt set the tone for the whole conference. We were challenged to think of something we are celebrating and also something that is a struggle. And then we had to share it out loud to a small group of colleagues. It wasn't hard to share what I celebrated because I'm really excited about a couple lifestyle changes that my husband and I have teamed up to make. But deciding on the struggle was tough. There were so many to choose from. I had thoughts of things I should be doing. I had articles and scientific papers telling me how to tweak my life and become healthier. I had external and internal expectations of being a good mom. I had predetermined ideas of where I should be in my business. And some of those were a little too lofty. So, of course, I fell short, and that was a struggle. So with all this noise and jumbled information, all my wishes and desires and failures, how could I pick just one? And then the answer came to me. Clarity. I needed clarity about my direction, my path both far and near on my life timeline. I wanted to know which pieces of information were real and worth following, and more importantly, which pieces resonate with my values and goals. I wanted clarity with my next steps rather than wasting energy on what feels like 1,000 directions. How can anyone truly be effective that way? I'm so grateful to report that I did find clarity. Well, it was actually the next morning, and I didn't even realize it at first until it dawned on me a day later that I had the answer and where my focus needs to land and where my energy needs to go. And I want to share the 3 steps that worked for me to find clarity. And they're pretty general, and they are customizable to your situation too. Here we go. You can find clarity with intention, awareness, and action. So first, set an intention to find your clarity. I mean, it's true, it may just fall in your lap where you had this revelation and you just know what your next steps are. And that's great. That's a gift, and that's to be celebrated. But what's a little more common is that people struggle with the sense of misdirection, where things don't feel right, and in terms of where they're spending their energy to succeed. You may experience this too, and it's hard to nail it down and label it. It took me a minute. But when you sit back and take a big sigh and acknowledge, yep, what I need is clarity, that word sums it up. So my first step again is to set an intention to find it. It needs to be on your radar. So when it blips, you notice. And intention also means it's churning in the background in your brain as you go about your day. It's like when you feed your mind a question before you fall asleep so that you can subconsciously ponder it and wake up with an answer. Does that ever help you guys? Setting an intention for clarity can be pretty quick too. It's like an announcement. Okay, this is what I want and this is what's going to happen. So that was step one. Step two is awareness. Identify where the noise is coming from. Where is your overload in life? What's causing all this excess noise? And physician moms have so many options. For some, there is a constant shift from one role to another, like between doctor and mom, or gosh, sister and friend. And this can create a fragmented day when you're charting 1 minute and then you're cleaning up dried mac and cheese sauce the next minute. It's hard to find even a few uninterrupted moments to think when your day is just zigzagged back and forth between these roles and it's packed. Or maybe the noise is from digital interruptions. Those smartphones and smartwatches and TVs and computers are lifelines for staying connected and not missing, a text from your kids. That's good. That's the good. The bad is that they also deliver constant notifications, whether it's emails or social media notifications or messaging apps, all of those notifications that you can't afford to silence because they're important. But each ping or buzz keeps drawing your attention away from what you're doing. And the ugly, so we have the good, the bad, and now the ugly is leaving Dr. Moms caught in this cycle of reacting to, or like a reactive multitasking, rather than being proactive and planning and thinking. There's this pressure to stay in the loop with these devices, and that means that your moments of silence are pretty rare. So another source of noise may be inside of you. Perfectionism and the need to meet social expectations are a great example. So many moms are burdened with this expectation to excel at work and maintain an attractive home, like the Instagram pictures, they look amazing. This pressure to be fully present with their children and capture every moment and not miss anything. And they do all of this while they're keeping up with their social circles and their family obligations. It's a lot. And it's like being perfect, right? But that leaves little mental space for yourself and introspection. And this internal dialogue of perfectionism is drowning out clarity. These are all just some examples, but knowing where to turn down the volume in your life, where the noise is coming from, will allow you to process and follow your intention. And it helps you tailor your approach or your action to finding clarity. And that action is crafting your own path or solution. So these everyday distractions, ranging from those external demands to the digital overload to the internal pressures in our brains, create a significant barrier to carving out time for ourselves. So you recognize these distractions as the first step towards reclaiming clarity. And then you find the space to focus on what truly matters in your life. Allow yourself the time to daydream on clarity without the noise. Or maybe you already do practice meditation, or you do clear your head with exercise or writing. Okay, what's interfering with you getting that time to yourself? So I want to jump back to my experience at the conference. I mentioned that I found the answer that next morning, and I didn't realize it just then. But then the answer came later, and later was during a deep meditation. And that was a morning session that was scheduled at the conference, and it was early, and I just, crawled out of bed, had half a cup of coffee, and I'm like, okay, I'm here, I made it. And I wasn't even thinking about clarity or anything, but I did the meditation. And you see, for me, finding my center and creativity and strength comes with this quiet reflection, and it's most often with meditation or writing. and it turns off the noise in my world. And that's where I found my answer. What does it take for you to hit pause on the information overload and that mental clutter of life? Really think about this one, because the answer will help you tailor your approach to finding clarity. Remember, I was talking about juggling the roles of doctor, mom, wife, sibling, friend, all of them. A solution or action may be to delegate and embrace the art of saying no. That's a big one. You don't have to shoulder every task, and it can be so liberating. Whether you're sharing household duties or outsourcing small chores or setting firm boundaries at work, delegating really helps reduce the mental load. My favorite lately is that I don't go shopping anymore, like grocery shopping. I just order it all in the app and go pick it up, and it has cleared so much space in my, every 3 days. It's cleared so much space in my life. I'm just so grateful for technology for that. Okay, so speaking of phones, maybe the path is a digital detox. It can make a world of difference. You can set specific times to disconnect. It doesn't have to be long. You could even coordinate, let's say, turning off your phone with your bedtime routine, and you get a double bonus of not being on your phone, not hearing that noise, but also winding down a little better and getting to sleep faster. And then finally, what do you do about that internal noise of the perfectionism? So my first step was to cultivate self-compassion. The same way my mother showed compassion to me, and the same way that I show compassion to my kids. I realized I had to stop beating myself up over not achieving enough, because I would never say that to my kids. And it meant resetting the bar on my goals to something more realistic. Self-compassion is the practice of treating yourself with that same kindness and understanding and support that you would a loved one. It involves acknowledging your struggles without self-judgment and responding to yourself with care, not criticism. I think self-compassion applies to everyone struggling with perfectionism and that internal noise and trying to meet unwritten societal expectations. In summary today, finding clarity in a world filled with noise, both external and internal, requires intention, awareness, and action. Set an intention to gain clarity and signal to your mind that this is a priority. Allow it to work in the background, even in the middle of all the chaos of daily life. And then identify some of the key sources of your distraction, whether it's that you're playing 5 roles at once at home, mom, doctor, sister, everything. Is it the digital interruptions, or is it an internal mindset and pressures of perfectionism? When you identify the source, you can lower the volume of noise on that source and carve out time for deeper reflection. Then the actions or the path to clarity look different for everyone. Maybe it's through delegating, taking a digital detox, practicing self-compassion, or simply allowing yourself moments of boredom. Really, when was the last time you were bored? It's pretty rare. By being bored or taking any of these steps, you can open the door to more insight. Imagine the masterpiece you could create when you silence the noise or turn down the volume and let the melody of clarity shine through. Clarity isn't something you have to chase. It's already waiting for you in the quiet moments. Don't forget to join me next week for another dose of support and inspiration. Until then, take care of yourselves and take care of those who matter most. It's time to take control and thrive. Thank you for tuning in to Inspired Mom MDs. Please share with other physician moms and leave a review if you found value from this podcast.